Hey there. So today we're going to do some string manipulations. We're going to create a CLI tool that manipulates strings in different ways. Yesterday we got into memory management, and today we're going to do something much, much simpler to bring things back into balance. So the way that I've done this is I've written everything out, and now I'm going to refactor it with you so that you understand it. It's very straightforward. We print a string. It asks us what we want to do, and we enter the string that we want to do this on, and then it will run a function based on the selection we make. So this first function I've refactored and put it down here, and we have this prompt method that takes the string from the user in the CLI, and then the actual manipulation, let's say that manipulation equals scar rev collect string, and then we can just put the manipulation in there. And the way that we should, what I wanted to show you is the developer experience for learning how to do this stuff is great, because you can just hover over any method on a string and it explains it. Like I've gone through this in a previous video. What I wanted to show you is that if we do it for uppercase, we click on string, then it'll take us to, it'll open up a new window with the documentation for Rust. And under allocation string, there are a bunch of methods and then a bunch of methods from the dereference. No idea what that means. And if we look for car, as in character, we see that it returns an iterator over the character of a string slice. So we are taking a string and we are splitting it into the letters, and then we are reversing it, and then we're joining it back up, and this should be a string at the end of it. Now the prompt function is here, and this just collects the input from the command line. And you could write print line, and then we wouldn't have to use this flush function, and then we wouldn't have to use this standard IO self-write. However, if we do that, and we run this on the command line, cd day 16 we are today, and we go cargo run, sorry, I should have commented that back in. But it doesn't need this. So if we do that and we say reverse, you'll see that the input comes onto the second line after enter a string. Let me just exit. Now, the reason that I want to flush it is so that it doesn't create the new line and allows us to enter our choice in line with the question. So let's run this again, cargo run. Let's try reversing. And now you can see that the cursor markers in the same line as the prompt enter a string. So let's say my name Josh, and then it reversed it. Perfect. So this is working. The rest of this function we've done before. We create a variable that's a string, and then we read the line, and then we trim any space, and that is then what we use to run the manipulation. So let's go through each of these manipulations here and get familiar with some. There's a lot here, and I'm guessing we will learn the most valuable ones over time, but let's go through some of the ones that we're actually going to use probably more frequently through this project. So the second one is uppercase. So let's create a function uppercase. Let me turn my magical editor onto subtle again. So get the prompt, and then the manipulation is as to uppercase. Simple as that. And then that would be the manipulation. Perfect. Now we're going to do exactly the same thing for lowercase, since they mirror each other. So it would be to lower case, and this would be lowercase. So now we can go here and just go uppercase. Just go here, lowercase. Perfect. Now number 4 is trim. So let's take that, create a function for trim. And let the manipulation be s.trim. Trim, pop it in there, boom. Now 5th is finding a substring, a little bit more complicated, but nothing crazy. So let's go with a find function. Now we want to get the string, and then we want to get another substring that we enter in. And then we use the contains method on string, and it contains the struct string. Now I tried to do what we did yesterday, where we clone it, and it doesn't like that. So then I was like, let city sub equal to sub.clone, and then I put the city sub in there, and it still doesn't like it. So you have to use a reference when you're putting variables into at least contains. And then if it does contain it, then it prints out the substring found in the string, or the substring is not found. It's as simple as that. Let's go for find. Number 6 is replace. Now, replace, get the string. The old text is another piece of input from the command line, and the new piece of input, and then you replace, just use the replace the old and the new, and put the manipulation in there. Can I use manipulation as a variable here? Not really, because I'm just returning a true or false. I suppose I could say the manipulation is s dot contains its sub, and then if manipulation, return manipulation. I'm not going to do that though. Boom. And then the last one, print line goodbye on the break, we can't refactor that into a separate function, because you can't use break outside of a loop. And this is the loop that we're running, so it has to stay inside that. I tried to pass it as a parameter, and maybe you can, but I wasn't able to figure out how. So that should be it. And let's see if everything works now. Okay, this is all saved, yeah. Cargo run. Let's try reverse first. So let's say Josh comes back as Hasaj, perfect. Now let's go for uppercase, perfect. Let's go for lowercase, perfect. 4 is trim. So let's say space, space, Joe, space, space, space. And then we got Josh, perfect. 5 is find the substring. So main string is Joshua. And then the substring is Josh, and it exists. Perfect. 6, Josh is blue, and I want to replace the word blue with happy. Josh is happy. And now we exit. Goodbye. Perfect. Everything works. Nice one. See you tomorrow.